One, two, one, two, one, two, three, four. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody.
Good afternoon. It is Monday, July the 13th. I am Bruce Leonard, of course. Thank you for tuning in to another hour of Bruce Leonard Leans Left, while it's still legal. I know it's unusual for me to be here on Monday, but get used to it because, like I said last week, I'm changing the schedule because I have to. I got to get my personal life in order, and it's just better for me. It frees up more time. So I will be here from now on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays instead of Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I don't know why I picked that weird off day Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule. Because at the time I started the show, I didn't have nothing really going on. I could have done it any time. I think I did it because Danielle is free on Saturdays. And I still, if Danielle is free and wants to talk, I will still record. Or we just do it live. Because we usually don't talk for the whole thing. So I'll do it'll be like a bonus if he wants to come on Saturdays. He never came on every Saturday anyway, so every other Saturday or whatever. But anyway, there's a lot going on. It's going to be hard to get to it all, really. I don't know if you heard this, but Thursday night, Donald Trump is going to give a speech where he's going to claim that there was interference in the 2020 election, even though it's been litigated and investigated over and over and over. He was in charge. I don't know if you know this. During the 2020 election, who was president of the United States? Donald Trump. So he's claiming he ran in 3 elections, right? 2016, when Barack Obama was still president, he won. Nothing wrong with that. Then he was president. 2020 election, he lost. Oh, something wrong here. 2024 election, he won. Perfectly fine. So his claim is going to be that the only election that was crooked was the one where he was president. And he happened to lose. Not to mention this has been litigated and investigated, like I said, over and over and over. Bill Barr said there was no interference. They hired a special counsel. I don't know if you remember that. I can't remember the guy's fucking name. He said there was no interference. There's no evidence that there was interference. So he's claiming he's going to declassify a bunch of shit. He's got his lackey in there at the DNI, gathering up papers. But I don't know what's the claim here. He was in charge. He was the president of the United States. So if there was any fuckery going on, it went on his watch. And not to mention, I said nobody's been able to prove this. But this has been years now. Talking about 2020, this is 6 years. The statute of limitations, they tried to go after some election workers in Georgia, and judge threw it out. It says statute of limitations had already expired. Now, who files charges on charges? What kind of lawyer files a lawsuit when the statute of limitations is expired? Does the people not know the law? You can't prosecute someone once the statute of limitations. That's why it's called the statute of limitation. It's unbelievable. And this guy Blanche is up for attorney general. The guy who's in charge of the Epstein file cover-up. The guy who gave that softball interview to Ghislaine Maxwell, then sent her off to a cushy fucking prison. This guy is trying to be the attorney general. The guy who just got sanctioned by a judge. I don't know if you heard about this. I told you there's a lot going on, so much that it's hard to keep track of. That bullshit IRS lawsuit where Trump sued the IRS for $1 billion. What's up, Marty? For his tax returns being released. Under his watch, he was the president. So he's suing the government that he's in charge of. What's up, Angel? How are you? Thanks for tuning in. He sued the government that he's in charge of, right? And then they made a plea deal with themselves. They gave him complete immunity from all IRS audits for life and his sons. Everybody was $1.776 billion slush fund to pay off his cronies and allies and people that did January 6th. Right? Well, they stopped that fund, but the lawsuit itself, the whole thing, the bullshit immunity agreement and all that was thrown out today by a judge. And the judge says in his conclusion, I want to read this to you because it's important. Said, John Adams warned facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passions, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence. Thus, whatever may be the party's wishes, inclinations, or the dictates of their passion, they cannot alter the state of the facts or evade the rule of law. Contrary to plaintiff's concern, the court did not have to sally forth to look for a wrong to right. See DE 89 at 17 in these cites of the case. The court need only to look to the uncontroverted facts here. 1. Donald Trump is president. 2. President Trump controls the actions of the Secretary of the Treasury Department, Scott Bessent, IRS CEO Frank Bisognano, and all executive branch actors. 3. President Trump, through Executive Order 7, also controls the litigation strategy and interpretation of the laws guiding the Department of Justice. 4. For the 109 days that this case was pending, no attorney representing the United States filed a notice of appearance of any document indicating the government's position, interest, or awareness of this matter. 5. Defendants' actions are consonant with the dictates of Executive Order 7. These facts lead to the inexorable conclusion that the settlement terms, the individuals who signed this settlement, in quotes, as well as the punitive beneficiaries of the settlement, in quotes, demonstrate a shared unitary interest and unilateral revision and renunciation of the fund component of the settlement, demonstrate the fact that all parties were aligned and ultimately undifferentiated. This action was never about a party. It was never about anything except a scheme to protect Donald Trump from IRS audits and to give a taxpayer money, $1.776 billion, that he could pay people who rioted on January 6th and all the other people who've done shady fucking shit to keep this fascist government going. That's like, and the judge recommended sanctions from the bar from all these attorneys, including Todd Blanche, because he was in charge of the fucking thing. And he's about to be up on the hill to be confirmed as Attorney General. This guy can never be the Attorney General of the United States. If this guy is confirmed to be Attorney General of the United States, this country is officially broken. This is a man who's lied in courts, who's tried to file indictments against people who have been thrown out, laughed at. And you're talking about making this guy the top law enforcement officer in the United States? Are you fucking kidding me? Not to mention, I said that he was the architect of covering up the Epstein files. He's violating a court order right now. Katie Fang, the journalist, sued them to get them to release the other 3 million Epstein files that they're still holding on to. And the court ordered them to release those files. And Blanche is still holding the files. He's violating a court order as we speak. And he's going to be the Attorney General of the United States? Are you fucking kidding me? The fact that we're even having this conversation tells you how broken this country is. It's fucking broken. Donald Trump is taking a hammer to the whole thing. It is not working as it was supposed to be. Meanwhile, they killed another guy in Maine. Right? They shot that guy in Texas not 2 days ago. Shot a guy today with his 3-year-old kid in the back seat. Yes. 3-year-old kid in the back seat. He was issued a social security number and had permission to work in the United States. He was on his way to work or to drop off his daughter and go to work. These are not criminals. These are innocent people who are being killed, murdered by the government, by your government. Well, I mean, unless you're watching from another country. And if you are, I do have lots of viewers from other countries, but if you're an American and you're sitting here right now and you're not fucking pissed. Meanwhile, they drained the reflecting pool. Was there a 350-foot gash? No! This guy's facing felony charges for some shit that never happened. Like I said, if you could sit here and your blood is not boiling yet. Like I said, they're trying to steal the election right out in the open. I say he's going to come on TV on Thursday and put this conspiracy theory out there that in 2020 there was interference in the election. Even though I was president at the time. We haven't even talked about the war. The war's back on. The memorandum of understanding is over. The war's back on officially. He filed papers into Congress. It was the first time he ever done that. He filed papers, said military action back on. Like I told you, it's not going to last. I get tired of predicting the future on this show and no one's watching. That's like, they're all watching Clavicular hit himself in the face with a hammer and do squats until he's about to puke. That's what people are into in this country. It's like, now I know what Bill Hicks felt like. It's like I said, hitting yourself in the head with a hammer, being like you're trying to reach people in this country, tell them something that might help them, and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Look at this guy. First Stone says, I look like a regular cartoon character. Face green, smiling face. Yeah. What do you want to do? And I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. You must have just turned in because I just told you my blood is boiling, but I still laugh, still smile. You can't let it drive you nuts. It's we got to figure out what we're gonna do, like, because we're in a bad spot. I don't know if you saw this, but war's back on, like I told you, and now Trump wants to fucking shake down everybody. Here's Donald Trump's truth today. Right? The Hormuz Strait is open and will remain open with or without Iran. We are reinstituting the Iranian blockade, so named because it's only stopping Iran ships or customers from entering or leaving. All other countries will have fair and open use of the strait. USA will be from this point forward known as the guardian of the Hormuz Strait. But as such, and as a matter of fairness, we will be reimbursed at the rate of 20% of all cargo shipped for any and all costs necessary to do the job, providing safety and security to this very volatile section of the world. The process of formation will begin immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Are you fucking kidding me? What's up, Jimmy? So he's basically saying, okay, the strait was open and it was free, and I fucked up here, and but we're gonna fix it, but for 20% of all your. It's more than the Iranians were charging. Yes, the oil reserve is gone, Jimmy. We've been saying that for a while in this show. Like I said, you're going to start feeling the effects of it soon. No one's even talking about that. You turn on these fucking news shows, they're not even discussing this. You gotta watch like Fareed Zakaria on the weekends to really understand what's really happening, because all the rest of the news, 24-hour news, is fluff, dude. First Stone says, do you think we should not be messing with the RAN anymore? Well, here's my question to you, First Stone. What's the solution? See, what you have is a problem with no solution. And it wasn't really a problem until Trump created the problem. But, yes, Jimmy, this is permanent. It is. But like I said, what's the solution? You tell me. Is there a military solution? No. You're going to invade Iran? Really? How you think that's going to turn out? Just like all the other fucking invasions we've done. Like, yeah, it'll look good in the beginning. You'll get stuck in Iran. Well, Maddie, at least some of the establishment started to die off. Right? This Lindsey Graham thing, that was fucked up, wasn't it? I woke up in the morning. I saw it was a Substack post I saw first, so I didn't take it serious. So I was like, somebody said Lindsey Graham died. And it was like, somebody's trying to be cute, with the clickbait headline. It's like, but then I saw it was real. I was like, holy shit. Jimmy said, ask that again when we start seeing the signs at the gas station that say no gas, like in the 1970s, right? First Stone says, I think we'll be there another 2 years at least. Right, but doing what? Doing what? But bombing them it didn't work. They fucking bombed the shit out of them. They bombed so much bombs that they were like, Trump's running out of bombs. It's like, it didn't do anything. They killed all their leadership. Didn't do anything. Right? Sunk all their shitty Navy, but they didn't even use in the first place. When's the last time you heard about the Iranian Navy before they sunk it? It was out of the ground. Like, that was the first time I even heard of it. It's like, oh, they got a Navy? It's like, First Stone says we should not be surprised. I'm not surprised. This is one of the most monumental dumb fuck things anyone's ever done. And the fact that people are still walking around like Donald Trump has some kind of plan, he knows what he's doing. It's like, dude, this has become, like I said, it's a bumblefuck day-by-day thing now. They don't have a plan. They're not going to get out of this. You think they're going to get a nuclear deal with Iran in the next 30 days? I bet that's a fun job, though. I've never done it. That's like the dunk tank clown. No. Never done it. But, I mean, I said I would, like, if they're paying. I do anything except work for the man. It's like, yeah, exactly. WPS. First one says it's a clown show. Yes, it is. From the top down. It's just like this diarrhea thing. If you start seeing thing, there's a virus, right? It's going around. It's giving everybody diarrhea, right? And you remember when this happened in the past, right? They would say, hey, stay away from cilantro because that's where it's coming from. Stay away from the lettuce. Hey, Laura. Right? And now they're saying, because Trump doged and Kennedy doged all the fucking health programs, they cut all those programs away. So now they don't know what's causing it. Now it's just a roll the dice every time you go out the store. It's like, is it the cucumbers? Is it the lettuce? Is it the cilantro? Could be the green onions. Could be the potatoes. You don't know what it is. It's like, you elected him president, dumb fuck. What are you talking about? And Trump's not a clown. Trump is king of the clowns. Yeah, Jimmy says, stop lying. There is no war with the country of Iran. Exactly. Yes, they don't live in reality, Jimmy. They live in this fantasy universe that they create for themselves where the Islamics are taking over. Sharia law is about to be. Immigrants are. They don't even make Quaaludes anymore, WPS. It says how much you know about drugs. They stopped making them Quaaludes in like the fucking 80s. I just have a good time. First one. Sorry. I think it's funny. I said the whole thing is it's a fucking joke. What what do you want to do? Go mad? As I said, it can make you go mad. The funniest thing ever is it they were trying so hard to keep the corpse of Mitch McConnell in the seat because they didn't want to lose that seat. So then Lindsey Graham just goes and dies on him. Karma, man. Karma's a bitch. WPS says they're Muslim behind him, and I know you keep a stash of them cues. Well, I said they don't even make them. I don't know. I was asking somebody. They're banned in the United States, but I was wondering if they did make them in other countries because the Quaaludes was before my time. Like I saw people doing them, but I was too young, and I didn't do pills at that time. I just smoked weed. But they're so good. I see people fight over pieces of them. I'm not kidding. That's why they banned them. They're too good. But they make them in Mexico or something. I said, yeah, you feel free to send me some. Although I don't really do pills anymore. I was crazy. When I was younger, I'd just eat anything. People go, oh, I found these pills. I don't know what they are. Give it to me. I'll tell you what happens. And I would take them. I didn't say joke. Well, it depends. I made fun of them submarine people. Fuck them people. If you're that fucking stupid, you deserve to fucking. Jimmy Myers says, yeah, bro, gas is under $3 a gallon across this country. Stop lying to the people that have eyeballs. Yeah, exactly. Now, what's funny is as soon as the price of oil started going down, did Trump fuck it up again? In fact, going back up now. And like I said, it ain't going to go up. Because what's happening now? Who controls it? Iran says they control it. Trump says he controls it. You think people going to take their tankers and ships in between? Say they're firing at each other. Just drive your tanker through there. It's like, no one's going to do that. And no one's paying Trump 20% of everything they're shipping. That's like fucking mob rates. I said, that's more than Iran was trying to charge. Iran was going to save like $1 million a ship. So how much oil you think's on a big full tanker? It's not 20%. You think people are going to pay Trump 20%? First Stone says gas is $4.29 here. Where's here, First Stone? Where are you? $4.29. Are you out west? Or on the East Coast? This in California, it's like $7. I can't remember. Laura sent me a picture of her son, or somebody had taken a picture of the gas station. It was like $7. Jimmy says anyone that believes gas is over $3 a gallon is a liberal. First Stone says Washington. Okay. So I was right, West Coast. I did miss my call in WPS, and I've been saying that all the time in this show. It's like, if you know a filmmaker, a cartoonist, somebody's making something like that, and they need somebody, I'm available. Because I did miss my calling. I don't know how to said I've been doing comedy for a long time. I don't know how to like audition for shit like that. I guess I should look into it harder. Getting me a job on a Cartoon Network. You're not the first person to say that, and I believe it too. I have a strange, unusual voice. There's no denying that. You think that I just figured this out? No, but I said I only did stand up. I wasn't into acting and all that other shit. First time I said I could be taking Kermit's job. I could. If I could learn how to operate a puppet, I go. Yeah, I could go work for the Muppets. WBSS just call them. Like, hey man, I hear you look for weird voices. But here I am. Believe it or not, I can change it around. I can do like an official PA voice. I can change my voice a little bit. WPS says you're a shoe-in, my dude. Yeah, exactly. No, I would love that. You think I want to fucking do what I'm doing? I said I constructed my life carefully to be exactly what I wanted it to be. I was at the peak success of my personal, like my life couldn't have been any better. And then all this happened, and now I'm here. But I have to be. I said, there's no way around. I mean, I could have been an asshole and said, no, I'm not going to do my family obligations and take care of my mom in her old age, and tell her to fuck off. But then you'd be a soulless fucking jerk off. Sometimes you got to make sacrifices in life for what's really important. And does it suck? Yes, it sucks. But it's what you got to do. Life is life, and you don't control most of it. Thank you, First Stone. I appreciate that. Jimmy says, like BB in Israel with his hand shoved up Trump's ass. Yeah, exactly. Trump is BB's puppet. His Muppet. WPS. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I mean, I ain't telling you that to say you feel sorry for me or whatever. I mean, I'm just saying people get upset about life, bad. I mean, I used to too. I mean, I'm not fucking immune to it, but most of life you don't have control over it. You could try all you want. You could work hard. You could direct yourself in certain ways. You can have discipline. You can do all these things. But that doesn't stop the randomness of it coming at you, and sometimes you get tripped up by shit. And you have choices to make. I could have been a soulless cocksucker and said, no, I'm staying in Las Vegas and still doing comedy. But then, like I said, when something happened, which would inevitably it would, then I have to feel guilty about that for the rest of my fucking life. Or if I don't, then I'm really a soulless fucking cocksucker, ain't I? You can't just preach being a humanist and then not be a human being when the time fucking comes. That's the thing, and that's why I don't understand about these people that like Donald Trump. Is Donald Trump's not even a human being. Donald Trump has no care in the world for anybody but himself. That's it. You should see. You should saw him in the morning when Lindsey Graham died. They had him on Fox and Friends. They're trying to talk about Lindsey Graham, and he starts talking about how we need to pass the SAVE Act and all these other things. Blah 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 blah. And look at all my remodeling I've been doing at the White House. All he could do is talk about himself. And they were trying to steer him back to the conversation about Lindsey Graham. He's like flew right past it because he's a soulless prick. A hollow meat bag of shit that's walking around and he's the most powerful man in the world, which is even scarier. He doesn't care about anything or anybody. Donald Trump would never do what I did. Donald Trump leave his fucking son dying in a gutter if he thought he could make a buck across the street. It's like, and that ain't no shit. All these people, to me, they don't even seem like human beings. That's the scary part. It's like it's like Get Out or something. You know what I mean? It's like these people aren't even real. Jimmy Myers says the Church of the Latter-day Trumps. Yeah, exactly. I'm just glad that I said Eric or Don Jr. None of them have any charisma whatsoever. They're not gonna fucking. WPS, that is correct. He says, hey man, politics gonna politic, but what can we do? Love our neighbors as we love ourselves, as it was written. Yes. I agree 100%. But that's what I mean is when you see people being murdered in the street, you know, it's kind of sitting on the sideline doesn't seem cool anymore, does it? I mean, we can't continue to let this go in this direction. Well, they build camps and round up people in to shoot them in the street. It's supposed to be America. I said not some third world shithole that Trump used to talk about all the time. Jimmy says, I quit after Ron Paul retired. Yeah. Yeah, his son's a fucking douchebag. His son's such a... WPS, they killed 2 people this week. In Texas, they shot that man who was just going to work. And they said, oh, he tried to ram him in his car, but then the video came out. They rammed him. Then today in Maine, they shot this man who was going to work with his 3-year-old daughter in the back seat of the car. And the other problem is that, like I said, when you watch these news shows, they don't talk about it. They are. Look it up, WPS. It just happened today. And the other guy I told you about happened 2 days ago. Yes, Jimmy, he says, anyone says crime is bad in the state of Maine has a mental condition. Yes, exactly. No, they're just up there flexing. But here's the problem again. Like I said, when you watch these news shows, they don't talk about it. They did ICE training now is 90 days. 90 days. And they give them a gun. They go, there you go. And you wonder why people are getting shot. It takes more than 90 days to train a guy to have a gun in the street. Way more. That's why police got to go through police academy and shit. You got to go through all kinds of training all time. I mean, you have to develop your... You were asking me that before, Ari. The cricketer guy. Yeah, the cricketer guy. That's what you were asking me last time. I don't understand. Like, are you in charge of his, like, Google views? And you guys come here like, Google it. Google the cricket guy. It's like, are you his manager? Jimmy says, the worst crime is committed by a moose. WPS says, yeah, man, lots of crazy speech gets people anxious on edge, more quick to impulsive actions. Yes. No, Jimmy, we looked it up before. It's a cricketer. He's a cricketer. But there was some lookalike guy. They went to it was like a Indian, prankster. Looked like him and went to a mall and caused a big ruckus because I guess he's a big star in India or whatever. I'll have to ask my friend at work, the truck driver. He's Indian guy, and he's always watching cricket on his phone. I was like, damn, how long is the cricket season? Do they play year round? Just like, because he's always watching. But yeah, the whole thing. Yes, it is a sport. We know. Yes, it is a sport, Jimmy. But I didn't understand why last time he came on, he was asking me that too. Do I know who this guy is? And then he was demanding that I Google it. Like I said, like he's in charge of the guy's Google views or he runs his social media. If you're trying to get him famous in America, this is not the place. It's like, you want to hit up like Joe Rogan or even one of the assholes about Benny Johnson or Matt Walsh. Go to Clay Travis. He talks about sports sometimes. You know what's Clay Travis? He comes up in my thing. Like he used to have this show that was on Fox Sports Radio in the mornings. It was a sports show, and he was terribly wrong about everything all the time. Then he started getting political. Then he's getting more and more political, and then I guess they told him either tone down the politics or just do sports more, or he just decided he could make more money. So he just took his show and like turned it into a podcast network, and so now it's called Outkick. Anyway, but he's terribly wrong about everything all the time. But anyway, he's got more viewers than me. Like, if you're trying to get this guy famous in America, you need to hit those people up. Aryan says, I think if cricket would come in America before baseball, cricket would become more famous. Maybe. Baseball was invented here, though. That's the thing. It's like baseball, basketball, we invented those sports. Our football, we invented them. I mean, of course, our football is like a bastard version of rugby. I mean, it's derivative of another sport. But basketball, there was nothing like basketball. Dr. Naismith just made that shit up. And then baseball the same way. They just made it up here. And same as cricket. I'm not sure where cricket was made up. It was played. Hunter Biden's been everywhere, Blue Apollo. And I was going to tell you, Blue Apollo, I watched some of Nick Fuentes, and you can say whatever you want, but the guy's a white supremacist. I know you always keep trying to convince me that the he's all right. You know, like no, he's a white supremacist and a fucking, what do you call it, misogynist. It's like, he's all kinds of things. Now, is he smart? Yes. You can tell he's smart. He's not stupid. But he's an asshole. It's like, and he was saying that shit too. He was like, civilization is falling apart. It's like, civilization is collapsing. It's like, is it? That's what everybody's been saying since the beginning of time. It's just like the rapture people. You know, Jesus coming back. He's coming back now. You know, civilization's collapsing. They've been saying this. Like, civilization isn't collapsing. It's evolving, and some people can't handle it. You know. The problem is, it's just, like I said, change. People are used to slow change. And you'd have to say, since 1900, let's just give it a conservative. Since 1900, the speed of change has rapidly accelerated. Decade after decade after decade, and it's faster and faster now. No, I watched some of his things popped up in my reel feeds, but they were longer than regular reels. Or maybe I just kept watching and just went to the shows. There's some of it I watched for 5 minutes. I was curious as to what he was going to say, because, like I said, you make him sound so, how he's so great. And like I said, I could see how you could think that, because I said he's obviously a smart guy. But some of his shit is, like I said, he's a white supremacist. And misogynist. There ain't no massaging that part of it away, Does he make some good points? Sure. But once you start saying, oh, he literally said, I know it can't be an all-white country anymore. I know that's not coming back. It's like, dude, it never was an all-white country. Ever. That's a fucking myth, too. That's like, there's never been an all-white country any fucking where. Yeah, no, there was some clips of his show, and then there was a clip of him on another show. Yes, and he sounded much more acceptable. How's that? When he was on someone else's show, they were asking him questions. He was when he was on his show. He was like, "I know it's an all white country." And I know that's not coming back, and I respect other people. He was saying, but have some respect for us, God damn it, which means minorities bow down and fucking respect the white supremacists. It's like, and that's what the difference between me and you is. You think he's being sarcastic, and I don't. I think that's what he thinks. And like I said before, it never was an all-white country. That's a fucking myth. It never was. There was always Chinese here, and African people here, and Mexican people here, and American Indians here. And then there was French and Germans and Swiss and all kinds of... I mean, of course, they're white, but it was never... some milquetoast all white country it's just being invaded all of a sudden. That's a fucking myth. Jimmy says NWA. Yeah, exactly. Blue Pop says I didn't see your stream. Hey, listen, if you don't know, I'm changing the schedule. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday now. So you know. I got to do it for... I said, to get my personal life in order. And I said, it just works out better all the way around. It frees up more time for me and Laura on the weekends. Jimmy Myers says, Europeans are foreigners in America. Yes, exactly. Jimmy says, there were these brown-skinned people here when Europeans showed up with diseases. Yes, exactly. Like the explosive diarrhea virus. You know what they said? I don't know if you heard this, but they said that explosive diarrhea virus that you can get now, it's raging across the country. They can make you have it for fucking weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, almost a month. That's fucking brutal. That's why today I was at the store, and sometimes I buy those salads that they make. And I got one, and I put it in the cart. And I started walking away, and I was like, oh, man, do I really want to roll the dice on this? Like, I started looking at it. I was like, what's in there? There's all kinds of shit in there. There's like cucumbers in there, and tomatoes in there, and lettuce. It's like, that's too many things that can have the explosive diarrhea. I put it back. I'm like, I'm not fucking taking this. All right, Blue. You too. It's nice to see you. Jimmy says, yeah, but I've had Indian food before. Yeah. Or all kinds. But not for 3 weeks, bro. It's like, ain't no Pepto-Bismol in the world gonna stop that. It's like, you can't be walking around for 3 weeks not knowing that what's going to happen at any time. And like I said, they can't even tell you. This fucking dumb fuck administration can't even tell you where it's coming from. Why? Because they doged out. Like I said, they cut all those programs. They fired all those people. You know, the guy that would tell you that the cilantro was what's causing your explosive diarrhea. He's gone now. There is not one part of the government that they haven't fucked up. And no one on TV saying that. I mean, they did say, oh, they cut these programs. I mean, like, dude, people should be outraged. You're less safe at all times because of these dumb fucks and their idiocy. We put the stupidest people in this country in charge. And you wonder why everything's fucked. And they act like, oh, everything's great. It's like, turn on Fox News. They're like, oh, they're talking about the Odyssey. You know, the honest, he's woke because he let fucking Elliot Page it's like, be in it. And the girl's black. Oh no! It's like the world is falling apart all around us, and this is the kind of shit we're talking about. And this is the real problem. We're stupid. Our culture is dumb as fuck. And there's no way around that. It's like, you think Donald Trump? I said it's good. It's going to solve all these problems. He created these problems. He could have went in there and did nothing. Just sat in there, did nothing. Could have redecorated all day, do all this other shit. He didn't have to tear up everything. He didn't have to tear up all the trade agreements all across the fucking world. He didn't have to start a war. It's Iran. It's like, he didn't have to do any of it. It's all self-inflicted shit. It's just like the guy you hear on the news is the guy, he shot himself cleaning his gun. Now you hear the stories, there's the real stories. Who the fuck cleans a loaded gun? It's like, you might want to take the bullets out before you clean the gun. That's all I'm saying. It's like, the fact that you have to tell this kind of shit to people. I tell you, people say people are smart. People aren't fucking smart. If people were smart, those tags wouldn't exist. Like it's on your hair dryer that tells you not to blow dry your hair while you're in the fucking bathtub. Because there's fucking idiots out there that'll do it. That's why we don't have lawn jarts anymore. Because idiots just throwing it in their friend's eye. It's like, you can't trust people to do anything. I said, but the majority of the human race, like I've said 100 times, are hairless monkeys. And they got no business with all this technology in their hands. Because as you can see, they don't use it to better themselves. They use it for Elliot Page in movie. Bam, we're woke. It's like, it's like, dude, I can't even grasp how these people think. And like I said, there's a whole machine is doing it. You can see it working. It's a whole sea of propaganda right now about Elliot Page. And I don't know if you know the story. I don't even remember what her name used to be. Ellen, I think. She was Ellen Page, the actress, right? And then she turned trans, became Elliot Page. And now he's back to acting, and then every time he's in a movie, they're like, ah! like a transsexual surgery would affect your acting ability somehow. It's like, this person was nominated for an Oscar. He's a really good actor. It's like, Jesse says, the guy that calls himself a Democrat proud of the people that stole billions. What are you talking about? I'm not proud of anything. Don't put words in my mouth. What do you mean by that? Please clarify, Jesse. I never said I was proud of anybody who stole billions. I said, if you're proud to be an American right now, I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, you're living in an alternate universe. This is why they're going after reporters now. I don't know if you saw this. He took that jet from Qatar. He couldn't wait to take that fucking jet from Qatar. Couldn't wait. Right? He got it. because, again, another $500 billion or some shit to retrofit this fucking thing. Unbelievable. So he flew it for 2 weeks, and then he had to fly over by Iran, and they were like, hey, you can't fly this plane over there. Why? Because it doesn't have all the shit that protects you. So basically, it's a useless piece of shit. It's like, you can't fly it anywhere. There might be a threat because it doesn't have any of the stuff that, the regular Air Force One has an operating room. It's got anti-aircraft defense. It's got all kinds of shit that his fancy Qatar jet doesn't have. Jesse says, what was the Trump crime family accused of for the 34 convictions? Inflating the value of their real estate so that they paid less taxes. Fraud. He was convicted by a jury, not a judge. What hasn't Trump stole? I don't know if you call the crypto dump stealing. The people voluntarily paid it, but it's definitely a scam. Stealing money. He made $2 billion. Everybody else lost $600 million. How's that fucking? It's stealing. It's like he saw them watches. It's supposed to say Trump on them. Said rump. It's like, yes, Morpheus. That's what I just said. He was convicted by a jury. Not a judge, a jury, 12 people. You know who his lawyer was? Todd Blanche. Who he wants to make attorney general. His personal lawyer. So what was the crime? It's what I just told you. It's fraud. He defrauded the state of New York. Millions and millions of dollars. I've said it wrong. That's not what he did. He defrauded banks because to get loans, he inflated the value of his property. So he'd have more leverage to get loans from banks. Because I don't know if you know this, but before Trump was president, he was basically broke. He's a fake millionaire. He had more debt than he had assets. He's made more money he's ever made in his goddamn life since you gave him a license to steal. It's like, and that's a fact. You can look it up. He was charged and convicted. The only reason that he didn't get sentenced to a real sentence is because he got elected president. They adjudicated the sentence. He still pled guilty. I mean, not guilty, but I'm saying he is found guilty and adjudicated guilty. It's a state case, so you can't get rid of it. Boomerang says, MAGA is just Scientology for Republicans. Correct. Boomerang. It is. I just fucking told you. Fraud. Jesus, you guys are thick. Same as when at Trump University. He lost that too. Why? Fraud. The guy's a fraudster. His whole fucking life is a fraud. Now he's going to try to commit election fraud. On Thursday, he's going to try to tell you that the election that he was president during was crooked. The other two were fine, even though it was Democrats running them. He just keeps repeating himself. You too, Boomerang. Thanks for stopping by. I can't believe this guy. It's like, and like I said, he was convicted in that too. Just like Eric Trump was convicted of stealing money from a cancer charity. People think that this is so great. First one says, "You're so great. How come only for people face orange raised eyebrow?" What does that mean? It was. Well, they said the Stormy Daniels case was another case. It wasn't the same case. And Michael Cohen went to prison for that. It was a crime. They used the money for the election from his campaign to pay off the stripper. Or the porn star, whatever you want to call her. And I said Cohen went to prison for that. I love it when people say that none of this shit happened and people actually went to prison. Like people said, oh, it was under Russia and Trump, but Paul Manafort went to prison. So why did he go to prison if there was nothing to it? Because it's fucking crime, bro. It's like Trump is a criminal. He always has been. He always will be. And you trying to fucking tell yourself that he isn't is hysterical at this point. Because he also lies in your face constantly. And you don't seem to care about that either. Trump always tells the truth. It's the most transparent. No, he isn't. Everything they do is a lie, bro. What is he talking about? Those are two different cases. You don't really know what you're talking about, do you? It's like, clearly you can't articulate it. I don't believe Trump was charged with the story there. I think because Michael Cohen went to prison for it. Like I said, Trump was charged for fucking, like I said, inflating the value of his properties to get loans from banks. Fraud. Mortgage, or it's not mortgage fraud, but it's fraud. I forget the exact name of it. He was found guilty on all 32 counts because he was guilty. That's the thing that's hilarious. That's not true, Stuart. I can't believe you guys drank this Kool-Aid and you really believe all this shit. It's unbelievable. No, they went after Trump because he's a criminal, and Biden stayed out of it. As a matter of fact, they didn't go after him hard enough because everyone was afraid. Because people like you go, weaponize it. Because you worship a fucking criminal. He's a criminal, bro. No matter what you say or do, it's going to change that fact. He had to pay E. Jean Carroll for sexual assault and defamation. He had to pay those people at Trump University because he frauded them out of money. He got convicted for the 34 counts of fraud in New York because he committed fucking fraud. He stole those classified documents and took it to Mar-a-Lago. He would have been found guilty of that too if they hadn't squashed the fucking case. Why do you think that they buried that report? They don't want you to read it because all the evidence is there of all the fucking crime. It's crime, bro. The fact that you're that you think that it's acceptable. Yes, exactly. Blah, 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 Joe Biden, exactly. Hunter Biden sold a painting. Meanwhile, Trump's kids are cashing in billions of dollars fucking government contracts and their dad's the president. You don't give a fuck about that? So, I mean, you guys are such disingenuous fucking jerk-offs. Remember when Robert Mueller died and Trump was like, I'm glad he's dead. Fuck him. And then somebody dies and the Republicans say, oh, you can't say nothing about them. You got to be nice. It's like, fuck you. Like I said, you're all such disingenuous hypocrites. He had like 5 of them, bro. Not a U-Haul truck stacked up in the shitter of his fucking golf course. The fact that you're even trying to make that the same. It's like the $50,000 Burisma thing and then the fucking... like I said, Trump kids get $1.5 billion fucking government contract to mine tungsten in Kazakhstan or some shit, and then build drones for the Pentagon, and you don't care about that at all. Because like I said, you're disingenuous shitbag cultists. You're in a cult. No matter what the Trumps do, you're going to go, that's fine, because they love America. That's not a new law, bro. I'm just saying, they fucking they only care if they could use it to defend Donald Trump or to attack someone who they think is Donald Trump's enemy, because they're just little fucking nutlicker fucking attack dogs who are programmed by this machine to say these fucking ridiculous things. They don't think about anything. Like you said, they don't even live in the reality. They live in a fucking fantasy world that they fucking built for themselves inside their head, where Donald Trump is the greatest and America was always a white country and everyone's a Christian and that's like we're all Christians who don't follow Christianity at all because we're racist shitbags, to tell you the truth, and we hate poor people. It's like, even though most of us are poor ourselves. It's unbelievable. I can't even fathom how these people think I can't. After all these years of this. And the way he lies to your faces and you don't care. That's the creepy part, Jimmy. They don't care that he lies. They don't care that he calls it something the Islamic Republic of Japan. They don't care if he's asleep. But when Joe Biden did any of that stuff, oh, no, gotta get him out. It just tells you that they're not serious people about anything. The right attacking people for things that and then pretending he doesn't do it. You know, if you're going to call Sleepy Joe, then what the fuck you call Trump? He's fucking asleep way more than Joe Biden was asleep. He's fucking sleeping in the White House chair. He's sleeping at the NATO summit when the guy from Turkey was talking. He's just over there fucking. You've been going a long way to try to defend this fucking jerk off, Jesse. Either way, he was convicted by a jury, not a judge. Jury of 12 people. Jimmy says they're not right wing anymore. I don't know what the hell they are. They're fascists, bro. It's the fascist cult of personality, just like Mussolini, just like Hitler, or just like any of these fucking guys. Pol Pot, or although Pol Pot was a communist, but I mean, same shit. Kim Jong-un is a different thing because people were born and raised up and brainwashed from an early age to worship the leader like a god. And that's what they do. And if you question that at all, they just drag you off to a gulag. So that's like a special case. But the rest is like I said, all these fucking movements. And that's what I think is fucked up is, I was saying this the other day, is politics has become about the people more than the ideas. And that's another reason why we're going off the rails here. Like, this is supposed to be the marketplace of ideas. And the ideas are supposed to win out, not who the person is that's fucking telling you. Right, Jimmy. Well, that's when the world was still relatively normal. But I said Barack broke that. They did have this, you know, and for the most part they were correct. They did have this fantasy that America was all white, the white people were in charge, and white people were always going to be in charge, you know. And then Barack Obama got elected, and they were like, "Hey, wait a minute." And as I said, they were like, "Well, this is what democracy got us. Fuck democracy." And that's when they became fascists. They want an authoritarian government. Now they're going to try to tear down the elections so that people at least sow so much doubt that people won't accept the results. And they're going to try to hold on to power for as long as they can. I'm waiting until November to see what happens, because if we get through this part of it, then we'll be all right, I think. But he's already trying to pull out all the stops. He's going to do everything. I said Thursday he's going to give this bullshit speech and tell you that while he was president, some fuckery went down in the election. Which, like I said, if he was that worried about election fraud, why is he clearing out all the people that look for election fraud? Why is he firing all these people? Because it ain't about that. That's what I'm saying. But you people just let him lie to you constantly. And you accept what he says is truth, even though you know he's fucking lying. You have to know. And if you don't know, you're just a fucking idiot. I'm not attacking you, Jesse. I'm not attacking you at all. I might attack your English teacher for teaching you, not teaching you how to fucking spell. But I'm not attacking you for your opinion. I'm just telling you that no matter what you say, he was convicted of 34 felonies by a jury in New York. The case was adjudicated and he accepted the guilty outcome. He wasn't able to get rid of it because it's a state case, not a federal case. Jimmy says Trump's uncle was part of Operation Paperclip. Yeah, and his dad was marching with the Klan in the early 1900s. Got arrested. There's a report, arrest report. We know all this. And his name is Drumpf, not Trump. That's like, to me, that's the funniest part. As I said, there's so many similarities to I'm not saying, again, that he's Hitler, but there's a lot of similarities. There's another one that he had a fucked up, dumbass sounded German name. Like, remember Hitler was named Schickelgruber. And Trump's name is Drumpf. It's like, they changed it to Trump. Jimmy says expecting independent registered voters to worship Trump like a god is some creepy shit. No, that's what I'm saying is he lies. Like he's at 30% approval rating, right? But today he was posting some shit. I'm at 50%. Yes, and change the D to a T. It wasn't Trump. It was Drumpf with a D. And they changed it to Trump. But his original name is Drumpf. But Donald Drumpf doesn't have that ring to it, does it? You can't put Drumpf on a building, you know. It's like, no one's fucking. No, that's what I'm saying, Jimmy, but he lies. He just lies. At this point, he's gotten away with it for so long, and his fucking followers just accept it. That he just lies to them. I said before, if you had a guy, I have a cousin that's like that. He lies about everything. He fucking exaggerates everything. And no one in the family can fucking stand him, and now we don't even hardly invite him to anything. It's like... A couple years ago, we had this dinner because his birthday's around mine, and my aunt is real nice, and it was like, oh, come over, have a birthday dinner with all the family, and she knows I don't like this guy, but she's like, I'm sorry, but I invited him because they fucking his birthday's right around yours, and his mom was my aunt, and I loved her, and blah blah blah. And I was like, well, fuck. Anyway, he brought his son, who goes to college, happened to be here too. So he goes with his son, and he's telling all these bullshit stories. And even his son is like, you know, and you're like, dude, but that's what Trump is. And you guys think that it's great. I don't understand. If he's talking to you, he's lying. Like I said today, they drained the reflecting pool. Is there a 350-foot gash in it? No. There's no water there. You can see it now. The whole thing. Is there a gash? Did someone cut the bottom with the knife? No. They didn't. Yeah, Jimmy, but that's the problem. See, Jimmy says Americans care about food and gas prices. We don't give a shit about fake culture wars. It doesn't feed our families. Right, but that's the problem, though, is for the last decade, we did get caught up in it. Jesse says, let's say everything is true, but he is our president. So what good are you doing for the people except creating hate? No. So what do you say, Jesse? Just lay down and let him shoot people in the fucking street? Is that what you're saying? That nobody should say anything? That we should just allow this to happen? We should allow him to meddle in the fucking elections. We should allow him to build detention camps and round up people and shoot them in the street if possible. We should allow him to have a fucking 2-bit Gestapo that only has 90 days training, and they fucking put a gun in their hand and put them out in the street when people get shot. We should allow that. We should allow him to start wars that fucking crash the world's economy. And that's like, your answer is that he's the fucking president? Is that what you're saying? And so you just should accept it? No, this is the problem, Jimmy, is that these people have forgotten what being an American really is supposed to be. You're not supposed to be a groveling, spineless fucking bootlicker. You're supposed to be a person. As an American, you hold the liberty of everyone in the world in your fucking hands. That's what you people don't understand. And when you give it away, you're fucking people all over the world. Because people looked at this place. The idea of America. It's the greatest fucking thing on earth. And for individual liberties, it is the greatest idea on earth. It's never been practiced in the way it should be. But as far as a political idea, that's not true, Jesse. I don't sit here and fucking don't allow anything but hate. That's not true. You must not watch this show regularly. We talk about all kinds of stuff. And I'm not hating. I'm not advocating hate. I watch the fucking news and I tell you what's going on. And I ain't going to lie to you because too many people are lying to you all the fucking time. This is why you have this confusion, Jesse. And you think these people care about you. They don't give two fucks about you. You think that they're building that fucking golden ballroom on the side of the White House because they give a shit about you? Is that really what you think? You think that it's for security? Are you fucking serious? Yeah, exactly. Trumpism is hate. And he said I'm the one that's caused hate. It's like, that's what I mean, though. These cultists have, like I said, they've forgotten what it is to be American. Like I was saying about the making up the charges and charging that guy with the felony about the fucking pool. That should outrage every single fucking person who's a real American, right or left. Because there'll be a Democrat president one day and you want them to be able to fucking round you up? No, you don't. But you think it's okay because your people are doing it. But what you're doing is giving away all of our fucking freedom. That's the part that you don't get. I hope one day you wake up and get it, but I don't think you will. Anyway, I gotta go. Like I said before, I don't do fucking 3-hour Joe Rogan experiences. If you just found this show today, you just stumbled upon me, please like the channel, subscribe to the show. If you want to send me a private message somehow, it's Bruce Leonard Leans Left at Outlook.com. What about the pool, Jesse? No one vandalized the fucking pool, bro. And if you think they did, you're fucking... You're ridiculously stupid. It just fell apart because it's a piece of shit. It's a con job like everything Donald Trump does. Yeah, right. What pool? The reflecting pool. But doesn't reflect too good anymore because it's filled with algae. It's like supposed to be American flag blue, but it's just fucking algae green now. Fucking farm pond green. Anyway, like I said, I changed the schedule. So now instead of Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, I'm going to be here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I do this show live 3 times a week. You're welcome to come back anytime you want. Jesse, even you. Like I said, because regardless of what you said, I don't hate on people. I got lots of people that come here that don't agree with me, and I don't expect you to. And I don't expect you to listen to me like I'm some kind of fucking guru that's telling you what to think. Because think for yourself. That's what we've forgotten how to do in this fucking country. And like I said before, politics aren't about people. They're about ideas. The idea is more important than the individual who's telling you the idea. So if the individual, no, they weren't. See, Jesse, that's not true. Numbers were put on the grass somewhere else. The pool, he claims that someone cut the bottom, but they did not cut the bottom because, like I said, they just drained it out today, and you can see the whole fucking pool. There's no water in it, and there is no 350-foot gash down the middle of the goddamn pool because it didn't happen. It's like, yes, the pump don't work because the vandal stole the handle. Right. Look out, kid. It's something you did. Anyway, like I said, you're welcome here. I'm not telling you to go away. But I only do hour shows, and if it's interesting, I'll go over like I'm 15 minutes over now. But that's okay. There's no timer running. I don't have commercial breaks, so that's. But like I said, if you just stumbled upon the show today, please like the channel, subscribe to the show. Even you, Jesse, please. And if you like the show, share it on your social media. Tell your friends about it. And I said, once again, if you want to send me a private message, it's Bruce Leonard Leans Left at Outlook.com. I don't ask people for money, but I do have a Patreon. It's called Bruce Leonard Comedy. If you want to give me some money to buy some more equipment or upgrade the show, I will take it. Anyway. I'll be back Wednesday now at 6 o'clock. So please go out, enjoy your life. Don't let this stuff consume you. And like I said, be safe and join me back Wednesday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday instead of Tuesday, Thursday. Thank you, Jesse. You as well. And I thank everybody that hung out with me today. And please. I said, be safe. Come back Wednesday. Thank you very much. Good night. Until that day, I'll keep my eyes shut tight. I do not want to pick a fight. I feel more at night.